Hello guys. What a time to be a DC fan. Look at my Batman hat. Look at all this. I got these Batman props over here because you know what we're talking about today. We're talking about the Batman, the new movie coming out with Robert Pattinson. And as of yesterday, or when I record this video, as of yesterday was DC fandom, and there's a lot of stuff. There's like 8 pieces of just like trailers, footage, interviews, all the good DC stuff. So from that, I want to talk about the most about the Batman because that's my most anticipated DC thing and just movie next year in general. If it comes out next year, all we know, it can come out never. The world can never be the same. But hopefully it comes out October 2021, which is promised right now. So I got my Batman props. The Long Halloween, which I'll talk about later. The a Batman Funko Pop I have. The Dark Knight trilogy. We're just talking about Batman. And I got my Batman hat, of course. Let me take it off real quick. Actually, no, you know what? Let me put it back on. So what I want to do is I want to have like a half and half. I want to half talk about the trailer, like break it down and like tell you what I see, and the other half could be just like what I think about the movie because I have a lot to say about it. So I got my notes right here. I got a notepad right here because I took some notes. I already watched the trailer. I already reacted to it like on my own, like not filmed because I was watching the live stream live, so I didn't like want to record my reaction, but I just rewatched the trailer. I watched it like 27 times. Hold on, I'm just so excited. Hold on, I watched the trailer 27 times already. I just rewatched it and analyzed it and just took some notes. And I want to go. How I'm gonna do this is I'm not gonna show the trailer. I'm not gonna like show clips or footage. I just want to like take some stills from the trailer, like just shots, and I'm just gonna talk about the shots, like analyze it, and then like very important frames that I saw in the trailer. So we'll see how this goes. It's a little experiment. First things first is this opening scene right here. And so in the opening scene, we see the Riddler, who is supposed to be the main villain of this movie, which I think is a good move because we haven't really had Riddler that much. Like we've had him in like comics and video games, but like in a movie, like you had Jim Carrey, but that was whack. This is like a good take on Riddler, I'm pretty sure, and I think the actor Paul Dino, whatever. I haven't really seen the movie season, like probably not like a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure I've seen him in something. But I think he seems good based on this trailer, and that opening with him, where he just like has someone, he murdered someone, and he's like taping them or whatever, and he's using like saran wrap on them, and just that opening is it's a good opening. I think Riddler's gonna be really great. He's like psychotic in this one, like he's not telling jokes, like he's not really Riddler yet. He's just like he's becoming him. Then there's a mask that reads "No More Lies." So "No More Lies" seems to be like a theme in this trailer, or like what Riddler is saying, because he says it twice. So "No More Lies," like what that could mean is well, it's on the face of the person he killed, and I don't know who exactly he killed. I don't know if we know who he killed, but I have a theory or like an idea, which I'll mention in the next few clips. Now, with this card, the first half you can't really read, but I think it says, "What does a liar do when dead?" It could be something else, but the second part, having a clue, let's play a game, just me and you, and then some like symbols at the bottom. So this card, it's not really over the top. It's not like a big envelope with a question mark. It's like he just went to CVS or something and it's got a card that fits him, and he put code. And so on this card, there's of course what he wrote, and then there's like this on the bottom. There's like there's like symbols, and I wrote down the symbols here. And on the clip I'm showing you, it's not really that clear, but I looked at a clear clip, and so I wrote them down, and I don't know what exactly they mean. Like I'm sure like there's probably breakdowns that tell you exactly probably what it says, but I didn't look at breakdowns yet. Like I just wrote it down. Like I'll try and figure it out on my own, but I just wrote it down because it was like a good thing to notice. And we have 2 different newspaper scenes here. The first one's about the Falcone drug bust, and the other is one that has a bunch of different newspapers and says lies. Hey, this is me post-production after I made my video. Disclaimer. So I have no idea what happened with the lighting, literally. Like, I took a break for 5 minutes to do something, and I come back and my lighting is terrible. Like, the beginning of this video was bright, and it looked great. It had perfect lighting. And then I come back and like it looks like a Zack Snyder film. I have no idea what happened, so I'm so sorry about that lighting. And I would reshoot the video when I do have that lighting again, but that would probably take a lot more time, and I'm trying to get this video up as soon as possible. So I'm sorry about the lighting. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It's really distracting for me, but maybe you guys won't mind. But anyway, that's just a disclaimer. All right, back to the video. So the newspapers are important in this trailer because they're going to give you kind of a hint of who Riddler's specifically targeting. Like besides Batman, but like what kind of people is Riddler like targeting? Like who is he killing? And based on the newspapers, the first one, the Maroni drug bust, helps you know about the Falcone and Marones, because as you know, like usually in the comics, like they're competing all the time, like the different crime mob bosses. It's usually always the Falcones and the Marones. Like you've seen them in the Dark Knight, so you know them basically. But I guess Riddler's probably targeting them. That could be the person he killed. He probably killed someone who worked in the Falcone business, either like a family member or someone who just worked for them. Based on that, because he has a hanged picture of the Marone drug bust, which is their rival. So maybe that would make sense. But also, you see like a bunch of different like newspaper articles about like I think it's about like crime scenes and such. So he could also be targeting the police, because why would the reason it would say lies could be like maybe like Riddler doesn't see the people that that the police are stopping are doing wrong, or he wants like true justice, and like the way the police are doing justice is a bunch of lies, which is why he would write that, like no more lies and such. I'm just trying to be a detective. Like Batman's the world's greatest detective, so I got to be the second best to try and figure this out. But yeah, if I were to guess who got killed right there, I would think it's one of the Falcone workers, because it could be the police, but it's a nice penthouse, and I don't think the police make that much, especially not the GCPD. So that's probably the best guess.
And then we see Batman himself, Robert Pattinson, in the suit.
And now we can talk about Batman. Let me, just for the sake of talking about Batman in the suit, let me put the hat back on. I fixed my hair, but I'm just going to put the hat on for this section. So, Robert Pattinson, I knew he was going to be a great Batman. Like, I never had doubt when he first got casted. Like, a few people, like, I know some of my friends at school, like, they said, like, this guy, he doesn't seem like Batman to me. And I think that the biggest problem is because, it's Twilight. But, that was a long time ago. That was just a job. Like, Robert Pattinson's actually a great actor. I'll talk about it at the end. But in the suit, based on what I saw from that still in the trailer, or just like seeing him in the trailer, it looks good. Like I had doubts. Like I loved the initial teaser with the red hue, and like when you first see it, because from that angle I thought it looked really good. And then I saw like the set photo of him on the bike, and I didn't think it looked weird to me from that perspective. Like it didn't match like what I first saw. But in context, like seeing it in the movie, or I guess in the trailer, it works. So I think it looks great, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from that bat suit.
Now, I don't know who this is, but if that's Penguin, then Colin Farrell really let himself go. I think he went too far with the role, but I don't think that's Penguin. So, and moving on, we see Bruce Wayne without the Batman costume, but still in vigilante mode, looking at something. He's probably spying, and maybe he didn't have time to change, or maybe he's trying to be discreet. And then there's this funeral.
So in this funeral scene, you see someone driving, and they crash the funeral, and he gets out, and he has a little "To Batman" envelope on it. So the question is, whose funeral is that? That's, I think, a very important question, especially later on when Batman goes back to that funeral later. And I would say it's either a cop, or, like I said, it could be the same person that was killed in the beginning of this trailer. That could be the same guy. I don't know why they'd be throwing him a funeral if it's a crime boss, but maybe, I guess, because he's well respected, and maybe Bruce Wayne goes there because he wants to investigate. So he's trying to act like he wants to go to his funeral, but he's suspicious because he was at the crime scene. So by the way, I'm sorry if my lighting's off now. I don't know what happened. It looks like a Zack Snyder film all of a sudden. But anyway, that's besides the point. So anyway, I think it might be the same guy in the beginning who got killed. It would make sense if I guess the next day he had a funeral and Bruce Wayne showed up to investigate, and then that's why also he goes to the funeral later, and why the car even crashed over there and the guy had the envelope. So it makes sense if it's all connected.
And during the funeral, we get to see a good shot of Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne.
So looking at Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, like Batman, I know he kills it. I was curious about his Bruce Wayne a lot, and this one he seems very different. He's like the most different Bruce Wayne. First off, long hair. It works. Like I like short hair. Like, I just like short hair in general. Like I don't really like people with long hair, but I guess it works for what his character's trying to be. Because I don't know if he's gonna be like charming Bruce Wayne, like the one we always see, like Christian Bale or even like Ben Affleck usually. I don't know if he's gonna be like that Bruce Wayne that everyone like sees in the public, like he's a playboy, like he's basically Tony Stark, the way he acts as Bruce Wayne. But I don't think we're gonna get that this time around. Like I'm sure like he won't be like crazy, because like apparently in this one Bruce Wayne is supposed to be like not like insane, but he's a little he's a little crazy. So I think the long hair reflects with that, and I'm sure like I just want to see how he interacts with people. Like how does he act? Like he's not. I don't think he's gonna act like overly charming, but he's not gonna act like overly serious. So I'm curious to see how like he portrays Bruce Wayne.
And then Batman decides to fight the police.
So Batman is fighting a police officer. It's I don't know what happened. I don't know what went down. Maybe like the cop made an orphan joke. Like he just talked about like an orphan. Then Batman like all of a sudden went like, "What's your parents?" I'm joking. I'm joking. That's not what happened. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm assuming the cop was just talking trash about him because he's a vigilante, and it actually tells you a lot about the relationship between Batman and the cops. Like this is year 2, so he's not established with the cops. The only person who seems to be okay with him is Gordon, because I forgot to mention earlier in the shot where like you see Gordon walk in and Batman's most definitely behind him, because the cops aren't looking at Gordon, they're looking behind him. So they're looking at Batman because they're all afraid of him. So I guess that tells you about this Gordon and Batman relationship early on. Like Gordon seems to be the only one who can like talk to him, or like he understands him, or like he understands that like Batman could help the police and like they should work together, because the GCPD might have never faced something like Riddler before. And it's actually interesting because of the show that was also announced, the Gotham PD show. It's supposed to take, I think it's supposed to take place a year before this movie. So we're gonna like see Gotham and the police and Gordon get fleshed out more. But for right now, I think this is a good relationship dynamic to see, because you also see that Gordon like holds Batman back at the end. Like he after he like attacks the cop, like Gordon's like pushing him back. So that's how you know that like it was Gordon's idea to have him work with the police, and he's trying really hard to like have both of these people work together, because it's the only way to stop Riddler. So I really like that dynamic, and I can't wait to see it in the rest of the movie. And Jeffrey Wright is a really good choice. I never would have seen it coming, but when I look at him, like when I saw him in this trailer with the mustache and like his hair, I'm like, that works as Jim Gordon. Like I never would have seen it, but now that I see it, I think it really works.
We also get a first look at Catwoman.
And I'm okay with the Catwoman look. It's obviously not a costume, but I think that's because it's her early stages, and we're like seeing her first. Like she probably doesn't want to be like a cat yet. Like maybe she's a burglar anyway. She's a cat burglar, so maybe like in the future she's gonna get the idea of like making it like cat costume-ish. But right now it's just a mask, and it looks kind of cattish because like the hat, like the top has like subtle ears, but not too subtle. But she's mostly like it's supposed to be a mask. Like she's supposed to hide herself when she's stealing, and that's what we see her do in the trailer. And I guess maybe if she's in the second one, maybe she'll have a Catwoman costume. Maybe she'll get one at the end of the movie when like her and Batman team up, if they do team up. But for now, I'm okay with that Catwoman design. And I think Zoe Kravitz, I think she's gonna work as Catwoman.
Back to the funeral, we get this scene where Batman is being a detective, and then a bomb goes off. And what happened?
So back to the funeral, I guess. So this is obviously going to take place after the funeral. Like it's going to be in the same day, like after that car, because the car's still there, and Batman's investigating, because this is the detective part. Like there's clues left at this church, or at this funeral. Like there's something he needs to find. Like I don't know what he's gonna try and look for, but I assume because there was like a Riddler clue, like maybe like something was left behind there, and I think the coffin blows up because as you can see in the next shot after, Batman's like getting like sent back after the explosion. He probably would have died. He has his mouth open. He has his mouthpiece. Like he doesn't have a mask covering his mouth. But anyway, so I guess yeah, I think he found something in the coffin, and the coffin was set to blow up after he found the clue. But yeah, I'm glad we're seeing him like do detective work. Like he's like gonna make that funeral crime scene. He's gonna like look for clues. Like that's really cool. I like that.
And now the best part of the trailer, this amazing fight. Not even a fight, it's a beatdown.
This beatdown was like the best part of the trailer. It's my favorite part personally. I think it's everyone's favorite part. Put the hat back on for this. He just hits him one time, then he hits him like blah 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 blah, and then when he's down, and then he says, "I'm vengeance." He doesn't say it like that's Christian Bale. Hold on, "I'm vengeance." No, that's Michael Keaton. "I'm vengeance." That's Ben Affleck. Hold on, "I'm vengeance." Close enough, but you get what I'm saying. See, I like this. So that's what that shows you is like Batman's fighting style, like this version of Batman, like how he's gonna fight. Like it's not gonna be like a one hit, like he can just take out an enemy, like punch them one time. It's gonna take a while, like realistically, like he's gonna have to punch that person like 5 or 6 times to really like have them unconscious. And he's not killing. He didn't kill that dude. It looked like he killed him because of that sound effect, but no, that guy's so alive. Unfortunately, he's like basically almost he's half dead. He probably got a few concussions. He has a brain injury, but he's not dead. And I just love that brutality. Like we've never seen that kind of brutality. The closest would be Batman v Superman in that warehouse fight, but I think this will be equally or maybe slightly more brutal.
And then we have the Batmobile.
I really like the design of the car, and I've ever since I saw like that set photo, like I loved it. Like it's not a tank like the last two Batmans. It's a car. It's a Batmobile. Like that's how it is in the comics I usually read. Usually like it's not really a big like it's not even a big car. It's just like looks like a regular discreet car. Like it's just supposed to be like a nice sports car or just like advanced car that just has like a simple look to it. So it's supposed to be discreet. Like it's not supposed to look like it's gonna draw attention. This is supposed to be like a car that he drives in, and maybe he'll put a bat logo on it. Maybe he'll put a bat sticker on the side, but it's supposed to be discreet. So I like that about it. It has a cool engine, and I'm sure it's going to make for a great action scene. And we do see an action scene with the car. Like it reminds me of Batman Begins when the police are chasing him in the Batmobile with Rachel. That's what it reminds me of. And so does like that fight in the stairwell when he's like grappling up. That's also reminds me of Batman Begins. So I don't think it's copying. It's like it's a nice reference. Like it just reminds me of it. So I think that scene's gonna be cool.
And finally, the last shots. First off, the silhouette is awesome, and then we just see a close up of his eyes, and it's amazing.
So after the logo, and you see just the last few seconds, you see his eyes. Like he finally has like they finally show the black around his eyes because every time you see Batman, usually he has black to like block out his eyes, but whenever like the actor takes off his mask, like you don't see it anymore because they want to hide it. Like no, he wears makeup around his eyes. It's black eyeliner, and I think that's really cool. It looks cool on Robert Pattinson. It makes him look like the Crow, but I think it's cool. But the last thing to talk about is in that shot where you hear someone talking and like Riddler says you're a part of this, and Bruce says how, and he's like you'll see. So that's clearly Bruce is talking to Riddler. There's gonna be a scene where Bruce talks to the Riddler, so that should be interesting because he says you're a part of this too. So he's not talking to Batman. He's talking to Bruce for some reason. I think. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the movie, but yeah, that's basically everything. So overall, that was my breakdown, and now I just want to give my quick opinions. I'm not gonna try and take too long because this video is probably already like 20 minutes. By the way, I switched location, obviously, because I noticed my lighting was bad, so I needed to be somewhere else where there was better lighting. So up here is better. So anyway, overall, I'm really loving what I'm seeing. Like I didn't even need to see a trailer. Like you could have just given me the date, and I would have been there. And but I'm glad I got the trailer because I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited now. Like nothing can get me more excited. Like I just need to see the poster, and I'm there. Like I'm so ready. Like, I'm loving everything. I'm loving this style. It's very noir. It's like Seven mixed with like, I guess the Dark Knight, but in a different kind of grounded way. And I really want to see what they do with what Matt Reeves does with this movie. I really like Matt Reeves. I think he is a great choice for this movie. I can see that he has a vision. This isn't just some like generic Batman movie that's thrown out because it's Batman and it's gonna make money. I know Batman's like really overrated right now because he has like there's always stuff with him, but I can see that there's actually motive. There's actually a good story to be told here, and I want to see what that story is because what this is reminding me of is actually a comic right here, The Lawn Halloween. If you guys haven't ever read this, basically it's a murder mystery. There's like a killer who kills on specific holidays every month. So, Thanksgiving, Christmas, of course, Halloween. And Batman is like being at its most detective right here, trying to figure out who this killer is and who he's targeting so he can stop him. And it's a great detective story. This really shows the detective part of Batman. And it's one of my favorite comics of all time. It's got beautiful art style, and it's so amazing. And I'm really seeing a lot of inspiration from here. Not like not like the exact plot, because it's not gonna take place over holidays. It's probably not gonna have all the villains from here. But there's inspiration detective wise. Like, this is gonna be a detective story. You can see that in the trailer when he's like at the funeral looking for clues. It's Riddler, so this is gonna involve a lot of detective work, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Like I said, that's all I can say. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And this is supposed to be a trilogy, I think. So I think this is gonna have a trilogy. So I want to see where the sequels go. Like, I wasn't trying to So basically, when you do a breakdown, usually when I do breakdowns, it's for like MCU movies and like other DC movies from the past. So like I used to like have that mentality of like what's gonna happen in the next one, like what's gonna be set up here, like what clues can I find. And for this movie, it's not really like that. It's not really about like a universe. Like, is Darkseid gonna show up? Like, this is its own thing. It's kind of like Joker. So it's like its own separate little thing. So it's just about the story, and that's what matters then. They're not trying to make a universe. They're not trying to make sequels that have like more advanced stuff. They're just focusing on the story and these characters. And I think throughout this trilogy, I think all the characters in this movie are going to continue to be in the trilogy and evolve even more. And because they're not their characters yet, basically. That's what I like. They're not their characters yet. Like, Batman isn't actually Batman yet. Like, this is only his second year, and he's not the character that we know. Like, that scene where he was beating down that one criminal, like, that's great. But I don't know if that's Batman, because, like, Batman wouldn't really, he would stop when the dude's on the ground. But no, he punched him, like, twice. So I think right now he's at a vengeful state. That's why he says, I am vengeance. Right now he's focusing on the revenge part and his anger part because of what happened to his parents. And he's not focusing yet on what's going to make him a guardian of Gotham. And that's the journey he's going to have to take through this trilogy. And everyone's going to be on a journey. All these characters. Catwoman, obviously you see her and her, like, she doesn't even have a costume. It's just like a thief outfit, just a mask to cover her identity. And Penguin, we haven't seen him in the trailer, I don't think, unless it was that one guy I was talking about. But we haven't seen Penguin yet, but he's going to evolve. He's not the Kingpin that we know him as yet. He doesn't even like being called the Penguin, Matt Reeves said. So all these characters are going to evolve. We're going to see them in the trilogy. I don't need Joker yet, but if you give them in like the second or third, sure, I think you would do something great. But for now, I would like these villains that we're focusing on because they don't get that much focus. Like Riddler, he doesn't really get that much focus because of Jim Carrey. And even though I love Jim Carrey and Batman Forever, him in that movie, we need a real Riddler, and I think that's what we're getting here. So overall, I really like this trailer. The only bad thing is, you gave this a little too early. Like, why would you give me this over a year in advance? Like, the movie's not coming out till next October, and you want to give me a trailer? I mean, it's because of Rona. It's because of the Corona. We would have been 10 months away if it wasn't for the virus. Now we got to wait extra time. But you know what? That's fine, because you know what? It gives me more time to be excited. And I want to wait. I want to take a long time. I want to think, and I want to be prepared. So yeah, overall, basically, that's about it. There was a lot of stuff in DC fandom. I watched everything, but I don't want to like analyze all those trailers, like Snyder Cut and Wonder Woman. I watched them, but I'm not gonna analyze it. And this is just a fun little video because I really did want to talk about the Batman movie, and I want to like give my thoughts to everybody. And just know I'm very excited. If they do another trailer, it's gonna be in a few months anyway, like 5 or 6 months, because they only have 25% of the filming. Like, this was only a quarter of the movie shot. Like, imagine what the rest of it's gonna be. I'm excited about that. But anyway, yeah, so maybe I'll do another analysis on the next trailer, or maybe like another trailer, like maybe like The Mandalorian or Falcon and Winter Soldier. But until then, this was just a fun little thing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm seeing New Mutants on Thursday, so in a few days, and maybe I'll do a review on that. It depends, I'll see, but I'll try and do a review, and then whatever video I do next, I do next. You know, one video a week isn't really working for me. Let's do a month. How about that? I'm gonna change it. One video a month. That's gonna be easier to do. But anyway, I'm taking too much of your time. This is a long video. Take care, guys. Read this book, and I'm gonna go watch the trailer again for the 20th time. So I'll see you guys.